Welcome back to Market It with Atma, where we share the tips, tools, and strategies to help your business be successful. Today, we have on the show someone who's not just ahead of the curve, he's helping make it. Mr. Bryan Hayes is the co-founder of the company Convrzn, and I'll let him tell you a little more about what Convrzn is about. Welcome, Bryan. How are you?
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us today. So from what you've told me, this is your first in-person podcast?
It is.
Is it?
I'm nervous.
Is it nerve-wracking?
No, yes, but you are so nice to speak to, so it's easy.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So tell me, how did you become what you are today? What inspired you to start Convrzn? And then we'll kind of jump into what it is.
What inspired me to start Convrzn is out of necessity. It was, I had been in real estate for several years, commercial real estate. 2022, interest rates were going up.
Yes.
Deals weren't getting done. I was focusing on urban retail. So it was a lot of fun during COVID.
I bet.
And I had left the firm at the end of 2022, took a job because I had never had a job or a salary. I was always 100% commission.
Which is wonderful to be able to maneuver and make your own money, right?
It's so hard. But I was like, I want to know what those golden handcuffs feel like.
Right.
And so I took a job, and I took the job that paid me the most and would hire me the fastest.
Okay, which is what everybody looks for, right?
And it was in December they hired me.
December of 2020?
2022.
Okay.
And so I had left the firm because at the end of the year, you're planning for your next year.
Right.
And I was like, I can't do next year.
Not wasting the time on it.
I can't. I did the math. I was like, I broke even, I'm done.
Right.
And so I go and I tell the CEO, and before I even have a job.
Okay, so the universe aligned and you just felt...
Yeah, and so I had applied at a couple different companies, and one company came back with an offer, and it was a commercial debt collection agency. For real estate. Yikes. The worst is trying to tell my friends that's what I did.
Yeah,
like,
how do you frame that nicer?
I didn't.
Okay.
I said financial services. But
there you go.
But they were like, debt collection. And everyone would kind of go. And I'm like, don't worry, I'm not here for you. And I would cut the room, and everyone's fine about it. But I was there for 8 months. We did 4 or 5 trade shows. I traveled, to Atlanta, South Texas, and at the end of it, the owner said something to me that has stuck, and that's why if you've seen on my LinkedIn, I'm the sales guy. So I took an owner's perspective, and I was working my tail off just as hard as I was working as a broker, 100% commission.
Oh, wow.
I was on a salary, no commission.
Okay.
And so I was working as if I wasn't, and he said, Bryan, stop trying to run the company. You're just the sales guy.
What a non-motivating CEO.
I know.
Wow.
He had owned the company 30-some years and...
Set in his ways, right?
Absolutely. I think, I was training the other staff. I was helping them onboard the clients that I had told we're going to do a thing. Which
most of the time is ideal for a CEO to be able to have an extension of them, right? You would think.
Be listening.
We won't mention any names.
No names. He knows who he is.
So did you stay after that?
So, no, I had like a little bit, but it got really, the tension was palpable.
Right.
And he's like, just stay in your office.
Right.
Like, don't talk to anybody.
Ugh,
and I was like, all right, whatever. And so then we were going to go and do some sort of meeting. I can't recall what specifically it was. And he yelled at me. And I'm like, I'm a grown man. I'm 6'6", and he's shorter than me. I don't know how tall he is. He's very short. And he yelled at me from his office. And I come in and we talk. And I guess I said something like, would you like me to do this? Like, I asked for his permission to do something, like I was acting like I'm not the owner anymore. So tell me what to do.
Like an employee.
And he didn't like that because I guess it came off maybe arrogant, because
condescending, or
absolutely, because I already knew the answer. I was just asking him the damn question, so it felt like he felt better. Right.
Well, you want the tension to alleviate. Absolutely. I think we've all been there.
And he yelled at me so loud and said terrible things that 2 of the admin staff left, and they'd both been there 5+ years.
Oh my goodness.
They gave their notice. One was the same day.
I'm
and
so
she gave
sorry.
her 2 weeks notice. The next one was the next day.
So when was your day?
My day was a day after they left. I didn't give a 2 weeks notice. And so I had left that debt collection agency, and I was like, oh. So I went to a business debt collection agency, and I stayed there 30 days.
Wow.
That's how long I lasted. It's the same.
So did you realize debt collection is not in your...
Yes, and I had branded myself as the bad debt guy.
Oh.
So I was deep in it, and so I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And so I had left that company. I couldn't. And I took the last commission check that I got from the last deal I did in commercial real estate. And I said, okay, what can I do? I couldn't find a job that I was interested in.
It was that pivotal moment
Absolutely.
in your life, right?
Fork in the road. And I have no college degree.
Right.
And so like my options are about this much. And I couldn't find anything that I liked, and everything that I was overqualified. I'd been in commercial real estate. I was talking with billionaires. Which is a very tough
industry, right?
It was urban. So I represented Bank of America Plaza in downtown Dallas, Republic Center in downtown Dallas, and 1700 Pacific.
Right.
Represented Mid-America Apartments on all 10 of their mixed-use assets here in the Dallas-Fort Worth market.
So was that just too much stress, the commercial real estate? And
it wasn't too much stress. It was so much time. Because you were 100% committed. You don't get paid until a deal is closed. They give you a draw.
Which could be months to years sometimes, right?
I went a whole year on one project. It fell through. Didn't make any money. So 2022, actually, I've never said this on a podcast. Really, I don't talk about it besides anywhere in my circle.
Right.
But I got a crazy idea I'm going to raise money to try and buy a high-rise building in downtown Dallas. I identified the building that I wanted, and I tried to raise $300 million to buy the building, redevelop it into a live, work, play destination for healthy lifestyles.
Well, so that was your goal and where you were in life right then?
Yes, it was Lux Tower, because I knew I wasn't going to make enough money doing retail, and so at that brokerage firm, it's like a franchise. You have a territory, you stay in the territory. If you do deals outside of it, you have to share it with the prospective territory market director. And I couldn't do anything else besides retail in that area. They wouldn't even, I could do outside of it. So anyway, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to do something that nobody's doing.
Yeah.
Which is high-rise building renovations. It's called adaptive reuse.
Adaptive reuse.
So taking several contiguous floors and changing them to residential.
Wow.
Hotel, retail, entertainment.
Which is very popular nowadays, especially downtown Fort Worth, downtown Dallas.
I know. I started that. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't start it. Jonas Woods. You did. Good job. But he has successful projects, very successful projects.
Right.
And I wanted to do one of the buildings that is 30% occupied. And it's a 1.3 million square foot building. And tried to raise capital. Didn't.
Did you just have to take a step back and reevaluate? Okay. It's kind of like the build, launch, grow, scale methodology, right? You have to have a plan. And sometimes you just got to try it and fail a couple times before. That's why you have a plan.
Yep.
Right, and process.
What if you were 30 failures away from your success? How bad would you want to fail?
Oh, I'm just around the corner from getting up, dusting my feet off, and succeeding, right?
Yeah. And so during all of that, I was like, okay, well, I need to raise money for myself because I have to put this under contract, and it's going to be about $1.5 million.
Right. You know that industry, right?
I needed that money. And so I was able to represent a group called Sonder.
Okay.
They're a luxury Airbnb.
Nice.
I guess it would be, but they do apartments. And so they'll go to an apartment community and say, okay, give us 100 apartments. We'll do a master lease. We'll pay you as if someone lives there, but we're going to rent it in short term.
Interesting.
And so they wanted to do urban adaptive reuse and be in some of the buildings in downtown. They had done it in other, in New York and stuff like that. They were a publicly traded company.
Right.
And I represented them and was sourcing opportunities for them. I sourced 6 opportunities, me and my partner. Sorry, I won't say your name. Love the guy as well.
Great.
But we sourced 6 opportunities, 6 different buildings, 6 different landlords signed 6 different commission agreements, and each of the commission agreements were over $1 million in commission.
Wow.
And so we were supposed to make $6 million that year, 6.5 or something, and then sell the building that we wanted to buy, which we already had a commission agreement. The deal's not
done till it's paid, right?
No. And I wasn't counting my chickens before they hatched, but I mean, when you get a billionaire to sign a piece of paper to say, I will pay you if you do this, and it's a publicly traded company, they have the money.
Right. Well, even getting a billionaire to talk to you is a feat in itself, right? They don't. No. Time is money.
Yep. And they had signed all of them, and CEO executed it, fully executed. I framed them and put them on my wall in my office. That's how serious I was about this.
How would it fall through?
Interest rates. It cost too much for them to do the master lease because it was kind of like a build to suit. It was like, hey, if you build this way and we agree to it that way, then we'll pay you this. And each lease was like $50 million over 10 years. It was ridiculous.
That is insane.
And it didn't pencil out. It was going to cost too much money to get the money needed for the construction.
So tell me, with your ambitious, goal-setting, faith-driven life, how did you stumble into AI from that?
Whoa, great question. So that all fell through. I went to the debt collection agencies. I left the debt collection agency, was in the fork in the road, and I was like, okay, what do I have of value? And I knew that was my knowledge and my sales skills.
Right.
And so I founded a company called Elevate X Sales as an e-learning company first to sell my sales training, empathy-based sales training.
Right.
And I recorded videos and went down the rabbit hole and then found out the industry is full of sharks and it's just not where I wanted to be. And I saw a cap in how much success I could see.
Right. And it seems like you're the type of person that doesn't like having a cap.
No, I'm a bull in a china shop, like I said. And don't put me in a box. I'll hop out of the box. But I didn't like the cap, and I also didn't want to put out a perception of myself that was unauthentic.
Right, because people can see through that.
Yeah, when you're the sales guru, like
even the word sales bothers me when people are like, yeah, you work in sales. No, I create relationships and I make it mutually beneficial.
Yes.
Because if you're selling to people, that's instantly like what you do is exactly how we model sales should be. But we don't call it sales because really if you don't understand what your prospect is needing or wanting and you don't care, then you're done anyway. So there has to be a level of empathy, right?
Yep.
There has to be a drive for you as well as them.
I always say, it's like, hey, success is that way, right? Well, let's carpool and split gas.
Right.
Let's make it a win-win scenario. And that is my sales training. I wrote a book. It was like, I don't even know how many words, but over 250 pages.
It's great information to learn, but you're right. At the end of the day, once somebody figures it out and figures out their niche, so you didn't want the cap anymore.
No, I didn't want the cap. And so then I was like, okay, all right. So I know 2 things. 1, how to talk, and 2, how to sell. I know you don't like that, but sales is
okay to each their own.
Convincing that your perspective should be aligned with my perspective because it is benefiting us and getting us both where we want to go. I want to close a sale. You want to go in that direction because I have a product that'll get you in that direction.
Right.
So we need to go together. And I was in that trail, and then I thought, AI. And it kept popping up because that's when it started getting hot. It was in 2023.
Oh, it's in 2023. Okay.
And the end of 2023 going into 24. And so then I thought, okay, how about AI sales training where you could practice with an AI on camera and it can map your facial expressions, your gestures, the tone, the pitch, the cadence of your voice, because your voice is more important than the words you say.
Absolutely.
And so then I thought, well, that's the hardest part about sales is practice, because we got to role play. Nobody likes role playing. But if you did it by yourself, what I do is in front of a mirror. That's really what gave me the idea.
Right.
I was in front of a mirror and I was just practicing what I say to see what I look like.
For sure.
Like what I buy for me.
Right.
And then I was like, wait, yeah, I can do this.
It was literally a reflection point in life.
Yep. As a sales companion, so it'll attend a virtual meeting with you or a phone call, and it can put prompts on the screen. Oh, client said objection. Say this. Or, oh, this was happening. Say this.
Okay, so it's learning as the conversation's happening.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
And I wanted to call it TIE for titanium, because it's the strongest.
You wanted to call the company TIE or the AI?
The AI TIE.
Okay, I gotcha.
Because, I mean, you don't think of a male and a female. You don't think of American. You don't think of, like, TIE. TI is
very universal.
Very universal. And so I wanted that. And so I wanted that to be kind of like Alexa. It's like, hey, Ty, help me with the sales training.
Very easy.
And so I went down that trail, and that's what led me to Convrzn, because I was doing Elevate X sales consulting for a couple companies, and I didn't like it.
Right.
And so then I did a podcast blitz last year. I did 12 podcasts in like 3 months.
Oh my goodness. Now all virtual podcasts,
all
right?
Virtual,
okay.
yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure we clarified that part.
But it's still, you still have to, the nerves are there.
Absolutely. You have an audience.
You have an audience. Someone's watching.
Yes.
You're saying something.
And then they can rewind and watch it again.
It's there forever.
Right.
And so I went on a podcast called Pathfinders, hosted by VJ Swaminathan out of Edmonton, Canada.
Okay.
Ever since I started my own company, I've met people from I was actually messaging someone from Holland today.
Wow.
Like, wow.
That is very
How cool. I'm just
to be so eclectic and to be diverse like that is.
I'm just some kid from Salt Lake City, Utah, born to a teen mom.
Oh.
Like, oh my goodness, like who am I to talk to somebody and get their respect on the other side of the world?
Respect's earned.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
But so I was on his podcast. He was like one of the last, I think like 11 or 10. And we jived immediately. And
the synergy was there.
He was there. And he looked at me and he said, Bryan, we're going to do something together. And I was like, all right.
Okay.
And so I was thinking, and I was like, he has a technology development company. I looked him up, I did some research, and I thought about it. And so I brought him the idea of Ty, the sales companion. And he's like, okay, let's have a conversation. And so we butted around some ideas. And then it came to, well, what's the real problem in business? It is speed to lead, right?
In most cases, I would say that's the hierarchy of the issues. Yes.
Yes. It's like, if you can't talk to me, I'm looking for other options.
Right. For sure.
If you don't respond. I mean, that's how it is in brokerage.
Absolutely. Like in any business. I mean, when I call somebody for a service, if I don't get an answer, I'm going to the next, right?
Yeah. Or you'll have like a short list. You'll have like, here's 3 companies. I'm going to call them all. I leave a voicemail for every single one of them. I mean, that's how it happened in real estate. It was like, I need 5,000 square feet. Well, there's 5,000 square feet, 4 different buildings. Right. I'm going to call 4 different brokers. I'm going to leave 4 different voicemails. And the first one that responds
wins.
Typically wins. Some of them, they don't respond at all. And so we started talking about that. And he's like, interesting. And so then we loved Ty. And Convrzn was actually my attempt at a healthcare startup before I was 30, like 28.
Really? So the name?
The name, I tried it, Convrzn, for health and fitness.
Okay.
I wanted doctors to prescribe health and fitness programs.
And you still liked the name. Can you spell it for me?
CONVRZN.
It looks more complicated than it is, but it's very catchy.
Convrzn.
So you wanted to bring that into your new AI.
Because it's perfect, because you're converting leads.
It really is.
And and no one likes the word conversion because it's like, what is that, like religious conversion?
I love the word conversion at the end of the day.
I do too.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, I know. That's the point. I think some non-believers would say that. They're like, some of my friends that aren't close to the church, but or to the whatever, their spirituality.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, it sounds like religious conversion. Like, that sounds negative, Bryan. People are going to see that. And I was like,
no.
Well, good opinion. I appreciate it.
It's all about your perception.
And so we started down that rabbit hole. I brought in the CRM solution integrated with a voice AI solution.
When you say you brought it in, you created it? Or
as in white label.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's like, let's get them to talk. Let's get them to communicate. And no one has done that. Now, a company called Go High Level, it's actually based here in Dallas, is attempting to do that, right?
And when you say do that, you mean AI correlation with the CRM.
Voice
together.
AI.
Voice AI correlation with your CRM. Now, is this your white labeling? We won't say with who, because obviously that's why you white label. How did you get it optimized, and how are you competing with all these other AIs that are coming out now, because that's the cutting edge now?
Voice intelligence. Now, voice is great. Sounds are great. I don't want to just play with voices in different languages. I want it to say something and then do an action. And what people haven't done is a call is made. I need a call summary. I needed to put in notes. I needed to create a task for me to remind me of what to do to prepare for the meeting it just booked. Right. And then it sends out an automated email.
Because those are things that you would do when you're successful in your industry, right?
Absolutely.
You know you need it. So you automated this through the voice AI.
Yep. So think of this Ty as an SDR.
Okay.
It will set the meeting for you. It'll tell you about the call. It records the call. It'll tell you how to prepare for the call. It'll call and remind the person, hey, it's Ty, just reminding you. Just kind of like your email for today. For the
so
podcast.
I could it's not like when I go through a drive-through and I hear the AI and they're not waiting for me to talk or, things like that.
No, this one stops. This one's very, very intuitive. Now, you can butt in. It might lapse over.
Right.
Just like a normal conversation. Nothing's
But this
perfect.
is more in a human being's tone versus an AI.
It doesn't sound like a robot.
Right. And I think that's what people, it's just like the internet. I had a podcast the other day. The internet was very scary for a lot of people. They didn't want to get on the cutting edge of it. I feel like that's where we are with AI now. You either jump on the bandwagon and you succeed, or you stay back there.
Yep. And print out your emails.
That's right. The optimization and time you've created for business owners and employees and entrepreneurs is incredible.
People should just make decisions.
Absolutely.
And give direction and say, okay, AI, go do this for me.
Right.
And then come back, report back, give me my options. I'll tell you what to do next.
Okay.
And so that's what Ty will do for a business. So it's your digital representation of your company as a person. What I would love to have is it like on their website. So we were doing a persona. So you can pick between male and female, different dialects, languages, different ethnicities.
Right, depending on who you're trying to reach, what demographic, you want it to be relatable, right?
Yes. And so think Ty that's not a male name. That's not a female name. That's not an American name.
It's very neutral, yeah.
Yes, it is. And so I want Ty to be kind of like Alexa. But I don't like making any like this. I want it to be of that. When you think Amazon, you think Alexa. When
you just want it to be neutral.
Yes. And it can be for everyone. So when you get a call, oh, Ty's calling me. I bet it's a sales call. Or, oh, Ty's calling me. I wonder what business this is.
Right.
And it can intuitively tell you that business is calling you.
So to that point, I feel like explaining this from my perspective, because we had a meeting prior to us doing the podcast, right? And you actually walked me through how it works.
Yep.
So you gave me the phone number of a business that's already working with Convrzn. And when I called, it answered very politely. I asked different varying questions, who the CEO is or who I needed to reach or if I wanted to leave a message. And it responded very fluidly as if I was having a conversation in clear detail. So these businesses, from my perception, can work with Convrzn to create a system for them to answer, respond, automate, and just, it's a time-saving tool at the end of the day for me, but it's more personal.
Yep. And you can do more with less and not control. You can manage the message because that's the most important, because you have a salesperson. Well, at 8 a.m., they haven't had their coffee yet. So their message is going to be, hello, this is plumbers. What you got? You know, it's going to be different than one.
Even if they use ChatGPT, and you referenced this in our meeting, it's very different. ChatGPT doesn't learn.
No.
It doesn't create a fluid, personable response. It could after a while, right? After it learned you. But you're actually creating what I would perceive to be a human being interaction.
Digital. So the next product is a consumer product, and it would be like a family member. It could be like a family member that passed away. And if you have a recording of their voice, we can clone their voice. And if you answer a few questions on who they are, how they answered, what they said this way, said that way, you can have a conversation with them.
Oh my, that's innovative.
Your mother that passed away that never said that she loved you before she died, you could hear that.
That's incredible.
So I'm making that as well. That's my little side
Maybe
project.
we should clip that part out so nobody else tries to take that.
Oh, no, I don't care. Go ahead. No, I want competition. Because
it seems like you enjoy it. Healthy
competition. It's like do it, because it's like the Mayflower. When everyone was leaving Europe coming to America, there was one ship or 3 ships, right?
3.
3. And so I want more ships. The Maria, the Santa Maria, the Pinta, the Manta, the Santa Maria. Yeah, I think it's what it was.
I think that is 3.
Christopher
Forgive
Columbus.
me if we are wrong, guys. Okay, it's been a minute since we've been in elementary school.
I didn't go to college.
I'm so sorry. I think they taught that a little bit before then, but it's okay. We've had some sleep since then. So go ahead.
But I want more people to the island so they can understand voice AI, have implemented it. Let's say the other companies aren't as good.
Right.
It's fine. They're still going to be on the island. They're going to go, okay, well, we're already using something. Let's look for another option.
Right. So
I want salespeople. That's my competitors, are my salespeople.
But very specific ones, right?
Yeah, there's a couple.
So you want innovative, healthy competition. So
yes.
What industry have you modeled Convrzn to work with in the beginning and now?
In the beginning, it was real estate, because I wanted to bring AI to commercial real estate because it needs it badly. It is still pen and paper, print out my email, let's go see them, let's shake their hand. Like, I totally get that. That is a great business model.
But to optimize that other time, especially for the working parent.
Yep.
I know so many moms that are constantly working around their kids and just not engaged.
Yep.
And this could really give them that availability.
Yep, because you're not making the cold calls. Because this can do outbound calls. It can take inbound calls. And it can also sit natively on your website like a chat bot. But it's not a chat bot. You don't have to type. You click a button and it talks to you. And then you can say, hey, Ty, like I showed you when we met before.
Right.
Tell me what you can do specifically for this type of business, my business. And it can respond.
It's very conversational versus you telling it what to do. It's not like calling Walgreens on the prescription pharmacy.
No. And it's also doing something in the background, because
that's the
our
difference.
Company name is Convrzn, so we're converting leads. So it is not only making a call, it is taking notes, setting an appointment. It's been trained with sales training to overcome objections to get an appointment or to qualify a prospect. That's the hardest thing in sales.
Absolutely.
Is combing through your database. Is this number go to this person? Is this person the right person?
I'd say that's 40%.
When is that person need to make the decision? Like in real estate, it was, when's your lease up? Well, it's 5 years.
There was a hard deadline.
So I'm going to call you in 4 years.
Right.
So
Why waste time?
I need to remember that. Well, with Ty, you can remember. So all you do is you look at your calendar, you see your appointments on the calendar, you look at your tasks before, and it gives you the call summary. You can go in and listen to the call. as well.
Wow.
But it tells you how to prepare for it.
So with that being said, because I'm hooked already, when did you launch this? Are you soft launching? Are you hard launching?
We've launched. We're exposing it to the market.
Okay.
And so we started development in September is when I met VJ and on the podcast. October is when we started really working.
Mm-hmm.
We worked through the holidays. I didn't get Christmas. I didn't get Thanksgiving. I didn't get New Year's. Like I was literally working with a group in India. So I would be up at midnight, 1, 2, which is midday for them.
Right. But when your job isn't a job, it's a passion.
I wasn't even tired.
Right.
You know, I was like, let's do more. I want to do more because I was so curious. I was like, is this going to work?
Absolutely. And we can't know
this?
Unless we keep moving forward,
so
right?
So it was a curiosity.
And you've demoed the product, you said, in 30
companies.
Wow.
And in different countries and Latin America, India, Asia, there's here in the United States, Canada.
You mentioned earlier, sorry to interrupt. You mentioned earlier that you don't normally mention, how it all began except with your group, your circle, right?
Mm.
Would you say having mentors and a group of like-minded people really helped you to be where you are today?
I have no mentors.
Interesting.
None. You know why? Everyone thinks that I got it figured out. Everyone thinks I'm a trust fund kid. That's my perception. They think I've either got to figure it out or I should be the mentor.
Right.
I was a personal trainer in my 20s. And so I told grown-ups how to live in their body.
Mm-hmm.
I was a 20-year-old telling a 40-year-old how to manage their life better, to be in better optimal health.
Right.
I have a personality of like a bull in a china shop, like I've said. And
At least
no one has really taken me under their wing and said, hey, let me help you. No one.
Right.
As crazy as that is to sound, but God has taught me.
Absolutely.
I posted something on LinkedIn. There's a song by Santi. I can never say his name. Someone with a Z. But it's God taught me. Ask me why I'm winning. God taught me.
As long as you keep following that path, then you're always good, right?
You know the difference.
Absolutely.
When you hear it. Like you know it.
So is there anybody you admire in their business development and their structure that you appreciate and are like-minded with that has kind of helped?
Oh, absolutely. I shoot for the stars, and I look forward to meeting my best friend Elon Musk and Bezos.
He's
Jeff.
Very busy right now. We'll not get into that.
He's so busy. He needs to do more. He needs to be more busy. We need to keep him so busy. But him and his team, they're doing great things, and that's where I don't know what it was. My why is very deep, and I was, growing up with a teen mom was very difficult. I had a younger sister. She was born. She's about 4.5 years younger than me. And father passed away when he had left me and my mother when I was about 7. He had passed away when I was 14 from skin cancer.
I'm
37 years old, he passed away. But once he left, I never saw him. And so it was just me and my sister.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother developed a drug habit.
Mm.
And that was very difficult. And so there were days where she was in kindergarten. I was in 3rd grade.
Mm-hmm.
4th grade, and I had to get her ready for school and walk to school with her. And I don't know what happened the night before, but this is my core memory. This is my why. I've never said this on a podcast. Not a lot of people know.
You know what? It's everyone has a story.
Yeah, and this is the why. And we were walking to school, and I'm 7, maybe, and I had no idea what I was doing, and I just knew I had to do that for her. And we were walking to school, and I actually had to leave school at lunch and walk her back because at that time, kindergarten was half
that's right,
day.
got out early.
So she would walk with me, and then I would leave school, walk her home, walk back to school. And it wasn't close. It was uphill both ways.
In the snow.
In the snow. It was Utah. It was in the snow.
I bet.
But this one particular morning, we were walking, and something bad happened the night before. I don't recall what it was, thank goodness. And I remember walking with her, looking down at her and saying, Julie, it's up to us to change the course of the family history. A 7-year-old saying that. And I remember exactly what I said. She remembers too.
Really?
She's a dentist. United States
incredible.
Navy. She's an officer. They paid for her schooling. She is fantastic. She's actually about to get out and have her own practice.
Congratulations to both
Thank
of you.
you.
I'd love to have her on the podcast one day, by the way.
I am trying to twist her arm to moving here, but she might.
Okay, I'll do a virtual podcast.
Yeah.
So,
please do.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
We'll talk more about that later, but tell me the rest of you both became successful.
I would say so.
Day, right? Something spoke to you.
God spoke to us. That was so. I believe that all ideas are God-given, and they're directions. So I have something on my desk that says where God provides, God guides, or God provides, God guides and provides, or something like that. It's Isaiah 58:11 or something like that. I remember the actual name of it, but it's something about, where God leads you, he's going to provide you with something. It's like the birds.
Absolutely.
How are they alive?
Only if you trust, though.
Well, they trust that there's going to be worms the next day.
Right.
But they have to go find it. It's work. It's not just easy. God's not just going to come down and say, here you go.
Right.
No, because how do you make something stronger? You put it under pressure.
Absolutely. You cannot learn and grow, and I tell my kids that every day. You cannot learn and grow if you don't make mistakes.
Yep. And I've made a lot.
I'm sure we all have more than we'd like to talk about, for sure. So what are you hoping to achieve now with a full market rollout of Convrzn? What are you looking for? What's on the horizon in the next 3 to 5 years for this company?
3 to 5 years for this company. I want to be in multiple markets, not only here in the United States, North America, but Latin America. I want Thai to be, we have different personas for Thai, and I've already picked out their personas look. And I've got, Asian, Indian, Slavic,
all different
UK.
ethnicities, which is
if you go to
wonderful.
convrzn.com, convrzn.com, you can actually see the persona. There's just a coming soon page. I'm sorry that we don't have the website up.
I'll help you take care of that.
Please.
Please. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Look at the saleswoman over here. Whoa.
Shameless plug.
That's okay. We talked about it before.
Yes.
But those are the personas. So 3 to 5 years, I want to see it. I want Thai to be known as someone's going to answer the sales call because it knows it's not a person. So it can ask the stupid questions and not
feel shameful behind it. You mentioned that on our call It is, especially when you're starting to be an entrepreneur and you don't know what you're doing, or even if you're in it for a minute and you have to take over. Asking those dumb questions in a room full of smart people is terrifying. Yep. But to be able to know that it's AI and know that you can say, you know what, I don't even know how to look up the directions to this place. It won't make you feel inferior at the end of the day. No. And you're not hiding that's an AI. You're not
it's saying it right up front. Hello, this is Ty, voice AI assistant with X company. How can I help you today?
Almost would reassure me at the end of the day, once now that you've explained exactly what it does, knowing that my notes are going to be taken and someone's not going to walk off and go get coffee and completely forget about my conversation with them is almost reassuring.
Valued.
I know I'll get a call back, or I know I'll get a response.
Or I called this company. I know I don't have to look for another company until they respond back to me because it's on the calendar. It's going to be handled on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
So why would I have to continue to call other companies?
That's very, very true. So you want to go more national than you already are, right?
Absolutely.
So
multi-language, multinational, and multi-generational. I want it to be different types of businesses, different verticals. So I think we have established like 13. But, I mean, really, if there's a phone and a customer that calls, or a website and a customer that inquires on the website, you're going to need Thai.
At the end of the day, it's just like any other AI when it first came out. People are skeptical, but once you realize the utilization and the possibilities, it's almost invaluable after you use it,
It's not replacing you. It's helping, making you better decision makers because it's giving you the data that you need.
Absolutely.
So don't think of it as replacing jobs. Not at all. It's optimizing society.
Right, with the staff you already have.
Yes. So, like, how many more clients can you take on?
Mm-hmm. That actually want to conversate with you rather than all the cold calling and trying to reach people back. Absolutely.
100 calls a day, 5 days a week, how many days? 52 weeks. It's like 240 days a year. Like, you can't, that's not manageable. I don't care who you are.
Significantly optimizing time for sure,
Yes.
Especially those people that don't have a team to help them.
Nope. You can make 1 million concurrent calls with this.
Without
concurrent
spamming.
Means at the same time.
It's
not spamming. No.
It's mutually beneficial. If you don't want to respond, don't want to interact, you tell it that and it moves on.
Yep. It's qualifying. It's just finding it's shaking the tree. Hey, who is interested? Are you interested? No? Thank you very much. When you're interested, here's some information. You can call this number back. It's like a hotline.
That's wonderful. So
people might answer sales calls.
Anyone that wants to know more about it, that wants you to come in and put this into their business and see what it's really about, how can they reach you right now with your website not being completely launched?
Absolutely. Email Bryan, Bryan, at convrzn.ai.
Spell conversion again.
convrzn.ai. I will give a phone number, 972-399-6448. That'll reach me personally.
Okay.
And I mean, I've got that on LinkedIn. So if you find me on LinkedIn, Bryan Hayes, the sales guy.
And that's how we met, actually.
That is.
I'll also list everything in the bio down here for everyone to see and click on. But we have to wrap up at some point. We could sit here and talk about this all day, and I love it. And I'm so excited for you and for us.
Sales.
I am not in sales.
Business development.
No one, please consider me a salesperson. I have one last question I ask all of my guests. If you listen to the podcast, you would know what it is. What is one thing you wish someone told you before you started this journey that you would go back and tell yourself?
That's a loaded question.
Right?
Because I could think of 5 things.
I'll give you 2.
2 of the best ones. If I could go back and tell myself one thing, I would say, Bryan, don't stop. Keep doing exactly what God is telling you to do, and you know the difference. Don't listen to the noise, because like yesterday, I had a call where a guy I had known for 1 hour from the northeast of the United States, and he's like, you're not going anywhere. You're going to fail. And I was like, bro, I don't even know you. You don't even know me. Why would you say that to a complete stranger? Do not listen to anyone. You can't. And the second one, it would be not balance in your life, but don't neglect other things in your life. So you have to be mindful of everything in your life.
That's great advice. And it's a good reminder for me too, because you get so busy doing it all.
Yep.
You got to step back and make sure you're taking care of you. Absolutely.
Look at the details. Look at yourself. Yes, your health is very important. There is a risk to everything, and you need to give blood for it. But don't cut yourself.
Absolutely. You can't help anybody if you're sitting there bleeding, right?
Nope.
Well, thank you for that, because that's going to stick with me, I think, the rest of the week at least.
Good.
I hope to have you back once we've completely launched your website and once your sister's ready to be on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see you next time.
See you.
And for all of our listeners out there, please feel free to share, follow, like this podcast with any entrepreneur or business owner you feel truly wants to build, launch, grow, and scale. We'll see you next time.